Well, Pokemon fans, it's that time. It's time to make our way up to the Elite Four. Now, the Victory Road portion of any part of the Pokemon game is pretty epic and pretty difficult, and this one definitely lived up to my expectations. But before I went to Victory Road, I had to have a little distraction first. That being the gatekeeper that was obviously cluing you to go to a certain place and see a certain Pokemon. He's like, oh, there's a big storm on route whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll take the bait. What? Fine, whatever. I get down there and it's definitely storming a lot, more than I'm used to seeing. I get to this house where this old lady tells me the story about this legendary Pokemon. I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to see this legendary Pokemon in about 30 seconds. And I do, this thing called Thundurus, which looked pretty cool, and then promptly flew away. I correctly guessed that would be like Latios and Latias and Raikou and all those legendary dogs and all the Pokemon that run away when you try to fight them. Now, those Pokemon annoy the crap out of me. And I don't necessarily play with legendaries all that often. It's sort of like a, oh, look, I have it, now I'm never going to use it sort of thing. I don't know why, it's just my personal style. So I didn't go catch it. And I know at this point there were other legendary Pokemon that I could go get. I remember when I picked up an Axew, I was also in that cave, and I may have been Cobalion, I don't remember. I was a little underleveled to catch it at that time. I wasn't properly prepared, so I had to, to switch the power off and go back to my last save state and all, or whatever you want to call it. I don't have save states. It's just a game, but I don't have it on ROM. Anyway, I didn't go back and catch that thing because it's just a legendary. I knew I wasn't going to use it. I mean, I have a Victini, and that probably would have been one of my most powerful Pokemon, but I just don't use legendaries. It's just the way I am. So, coming back from that, I have to fight Sharon before you get too far up Victory Road, which wasn't too hard. I know I fought Bianca in the previous video and totally failed to mention it, but at this point, they're using the same team of Pokemon. I don't think they ever got to 6 Pokemon while I was playing, and after a while you just know what to use to kill them. Now at this point I was packing a pretty powerful group of Pokemon that I figured I might be using for the Elite Four, some of my favorites, so I knew how to use them, and they were pretty good Pokemon anyway. My team going up to the Elite Four and my team training for the Elite Four kind of get mixed up in my mind, so I don't remember exactly what I had, but definitely Serperior, definitely Seismitoad because I have given it Surf. Somebody had Strength, maybe Conkeldurr, maybe the dog Pokemon, I don't really remember. I probably had a Darmanitan, some of my favorites that I was using. Now, first of all, before you even get to Victory Road, you have to go through the 8 gates, which were cool and kind of pointless at the same time. First of all, they were cool to look at. They reminded me of back in the day with Red and Blue when you had to go through those 8 gates and the person actually asked you, like, do you have this? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, keep going. Of course, back then you could actually get to the entrances to Victory Road and try to get through some of those gates, but if you didn't have all the badges, you couldn't. In this game, you pretty much, I mean, if you were there, you had all 8, I believe. Maybe not the dragon one. I mean, you could I think you could get there. I don't know. Usually they had people blocking gates if you didn't have certain gyms, but anyway, it was kind of pointless because it's like, all right, I'm moving through these 8 little rooms and there's no reason for me to be, it's just spectacle, which sometimes I appreciate, sometimes I don't. Victory Road itself was pretty impressive. I liked the 3D aspect of it. I liked the fact that you had to slide down. It was sort of an interesting little puzzle mechanic. I like the fact that you had to have strength to push the boulders, but it wasn't in a way that abused it. It wasn't like an HM fest like certain dungeons are in some Pokemon games. I mean, usually Victory Road, you're pushing all these rocks around, you have to use Rock Break and Surf, and it just gets obnoxious. Especially when you're trying to train Pokemon for the Elite Four. I mean, you don't want to have an HM slave just sort of sitting there, but in this game it was like, alright, you got to this point, you can push this rock, it will help you quickly get to further points of the dungeon when you come back after you're healing your Pokemon. I appreciated that. That was a nice touch. The wild Pokemon in Victory Road were pretty tough to fight consistently. Now, I usually don't run away from wild encounters just because I want to get that experience, and sometimes I'm using slower Pokemon so they can't run, and sometimes it's just easier to take the hit and hit them back and hopefully get closer to killing them than trying to run away and not being able to and taking it anyway. the trainers Pokemon were definitely a step up than previously seen. I mean, at this point, they're using level 45 Pokemon. They're using Pokemon that are a little bit higher than you. They're using Pokemon that are the same class as yours. It's not like they're using... It's not like they're using under-evolved Pokemon at level 45. They're using things like Electros and Seismitoad and some of the things you would be using to fight Pokemon. So they were definitely a little tough, and some of them gave me a run for my money. There were definitely... I remember the fully evolved Bug Poison Pokemon. I don't know why, but I think it may have been the first time I was fighting it, maybe second time, but it was using something called Steamroll and just destroying my team. I was like, holy crap, what is this thing going to sweep me? I mean, I think it may have killed 3 or 4 of my Pokemon, so it was definitely difficult, and definitely something I want to train in the future. I liked the fact that there was something called Durant in there, which was Bug Steel and was fairly strong. With once I caught it, I figured out it had Hustle, and was like, that's why it's hitting me so hard. Plus, I mean, it's a pretty solid Pokemon anyway, at least in the attack-defense front. I liked how that was on the inside and Heatmore was on the outside, a fire anteater, which I thought it was funny because, you know, anteaters, ants. It's a little biology joke I thought was humorous. Heatmore is definitely an interesting Pokemon with its fire attacks. I liked its special attack. I actually thought about using it for the Elite Four, but ended up not going with that, which I'll explain in another video. I caught a Dino. I think one of the Dragon trainers had it before, so I saw where it was, and I knew a little bit about it, but caught it and realized it was Dark Dragon, which is definitely an interesting combination. Of course, I know now what it evolves into, so... and I'll get into that in a later video, but it was a little difficult to train, I think, when I tried messing around with it a little bit, and so I didn't really go much further with it. It was pretty weak. I figured it would become something stronger. I mean, it's a Dark Dragon Pokemon. That has to ignite your imagination. So I got through Victory Road. Definitely lived up to my expectations. It was hard. It was interesting. Great part of the game. And I got to the Elite Four's place. I don't know what they call it in this game. I want to call it Indigo Plateau, but I know it's not called that. That definitely had some cool art style. I'm looking at it's a little intimidating, really. It's this massive structure that's open air, and you're looking through, and there's this... You first get up there, and there's this guy in the center that's like, if you go through here, you will not be able to go back, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, where is the Pokemon Center? Shit, I cannot... They gotta give me a Pokemon Center. I gotta switch my heal my Pokemon. And thank God they did. It was over off to the left, but I also like the fact that there was nobody there. I mean, I think this happens pretty much regularly in all Pokemon games. There was the Pokemon Center lady, the salesman, and that was it. There's nobody else there that's just sort of hanging around the Pokemon League. It's so difficult to get there that there literally is no non-player characters there, which I thought was a nice touch. Now, I'm sitting there, and I see that there's sort of 4 staircases going up, and I wonder, like, can you fight the Pokemon League in whichever order you want? Can you fight the Elite Four in whichever order you want? That's interesting and scary. I mean, I was sitting there going like, okay, does that mean they're all going to be at the same level, or does that mean they scale upward depending on which one you fight first? Does that mean I want to go with the one that I would have the most trouble with first and then deal with the other ones later? There was all sorts of possibilities running through my mind, but I knew at that point that I had to train. I mean, in the last game, I went through at level 45 with 5 regular Pokemon and Palkia, which was kind of my little cheat Pokemon. And I went to the Elite Four and the Pokemon League champion, which I think got up into the 60s. And oh my god, that was incredibly difficult. Holy shit, that was hard. And because of my blind walkthrough way of playing through this game, I had no idea what was out there. I had been given no clues. The game doesn't give you any until you actually get inside, and I wasn't going to spoil that for myself. So I just had to come in with a balanced team. So what I did there was I started training, and I will talk about that training sequence in the next video. I hope you're enjoying this blind walkthrough, as it is almost done, but I will see you next time.